This news program is proudly brought to you by Paradise Foods, celebrating 90 years in PNG.
Treasurer announces 27.4 billion kina budget for next year. 6.4 magnitude earthquake strikes Wewak. And Road Traffic Authority concerned with the influx of vehicles into PNG. A very good evening. This is Tuesday's News. I'm Malcolm Waira. Thank you for joining us. Treasurer Ian Lynn Starkey today in Parliament has announced another historic budget of 27.4 billion kina for PNG for the year 2024 under the Marape Rosso government. This recorded budget saw a 2.8 billion kina increase from the 2023 budget of 24.6 billion kina.
The 2024 national budget was delivered today in Parliament by the Treasurer, Ian Lynn Starkey, with the theme Securing Our Future. Another historic budget of 27.377 billion kina. This is a budget that is 2.8 billion kina larger than the 2023 budget of 24.567 billion kina. Treasurer Ian Lynn Starkey highlighted this as the responsible budget, as revenues will total 23.4 billion kina, a 3.8 billion more than the 2023 budget of 19.6 billion kina. The Treasurer touched on the impact to the deficit budget and revealed the aim of the government to settle all debts by 2034.
Revenues are growing much faster than expenditures. The budget deficit reduces by another 1 billion kina down to 3,984 million kina. Continuing with disciplined budget repair with the aim to get back to a surplus by our target date of 2027 and the option of repaying all debts by all previous governments.
The Treasurer reiterated that securing the future, the focus on growth and jobs, increases in funding for the economic sectors and utilities, investment into infrastructure, health, education, police and judiciary, and assisting families facing cost of living pressure. The Treasurer placed emphasis for implementation of the budget allocation.
All of this high-level work of budget allocations must now be converted to the hard work of effective and efficient implementation. This becomes a much wider job than just that of the Treasurer. May we all work better to meet the aspirations of our people.
The parliamentary opposition will debate on the budget on Friday, the 1st of December. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
In a recent update by the Rabaul Volcanology Observatory, the risk level of the Mount Ulawon eruption has been reduced to stage 2.
In an interview with this newsroom today, the officer in charge of the Rabaul Volcanology Observatory, Imaiti Karai, gave an update on the status of Mount Ulawon's volcanic activity since its eruption last Monday.
Ulawon erupted on Monday afternoon between 3 and 4, and the main phase of the eruption stopped about the same time the following day on Tuesday. And so after that, activity declined, and it sort of declined until ashing stopped, but seismic activity was still going on, but it went down to a background level. So as we speak today, it has gone down to like nothing happened.
Mr. Itikarai advised that RVO will keep close monitor on Mount Ulawun's volcanic activity, advising that the observatory has the needed equipment.
We have our instrumentation, so if anything picks up again, we hope that we can detect it before it happens.
The officer in charge added to his insightful update with a precaution note to communities near the site of the volcanic activity.
Besides the ice that is going to come out from the event, which has ended now, the risk are probably to do with what has been deposited on the ground. And so, nowadays it's very dry in that part of the country. And so when a lot of ice has been deposited, they can be resuspended into the air by vehicles or wind or so and so. So one of the precautions that we have given to the public out there through these bulletins is that when moving around, they should take precautions.
Natasha Voy, National, EMTV News.
Chief Executive Officer of the Road Traffic Authority, or RTA, Nelson Terema, has announced today that the board will look into addressing the influx of vehicles into the shores of PNG. Mr. Terema also urged the traveling public and the operators to prioritize safety during this Christmas period.
In an interview with this newsroom, Mr. Terema revealed that the influx of vehicles into the shores of PNG is due to government's efforts of supporting SME by reducing the payment rate of 80% to 40%. He said the jurisdictions to addressing the influx of vehicles now fall into the hands of the NCDC and stated that the new board appointed will look into addressing this.
Areas like organizing car park areas where people can park their vehicles and open to the public transport, and the introduction of railways. These are options that we are looking at. So we will be working closely with NCDC and other relevant authorities to address how we can manage the influx of vehicles coming into the country.
Mr. Terema emphasized that RTA ensures vehicles entering the country are of quality. However, it has been evident that unworthy road vehicles are heavily involved in the business of public transport that poses a great threat to the traveling public. He highlighted that the partnership between NCDC and RTA is vital to get rid of unworthy road vehicles.
So some of them are really beyond repair. Land road with Togdo, land road with a lot of these bus operations we are fully aware of. We've got a plan for that, and we are moving together with the Tokai and the police. So once when we catch them, then we are going to transport it to the impounding area and we'll log it up. So we have already warned all the operators that we will be on the road, so making sure that their vehicles are roadworthy and will be on the road.
The CEO further calls on the public and the PNV operators to collaborate with RTA to ensure safety is given a priority at this peak period.
We have seen a lot of road accidents being happening over the festive period some years back. So we don't want to allow that to happen this coming festive period. Therefore, we, RTA and the police, we will be enforcing this. So my warning to them is to fix their vehicles properly and properly licensed. We are here to support them, to give them the license. So we should be seen working together, working in partnership with the operators, so that we all create an environment, safe environment during the festive period for our road users.
Sharon Engnui, National, EMTV News.
Oro Governor Gary Juffa has called on the national government to undergo reforms and restructure and empower public servants to see positive growth in various sectors. The governor made this statement today on the floor of Parliament when debating on the statement presented by the Fisheries Minister, Jelta Wong.
Is directed to the Minister for
Oro Governor Gary Juffa calls for the national government to undergo restructure within various sectors of the government.
This organization is overdue for a restructure, not just the Fisheries Ministry, but also the Forestry Ministry, and in fact many other ministries. Many of these ministries have been infiltrated
Governor Jufa further added that many of the sectors are long overdue to reforms and restructure, and stated that through this, they can identify criminal elements in various sectors, most especially in fisheries and forestry.
But transnational criminal cartels and their agents are in these organizations working for them. They are no longer serving Papua New Guinea or Papua New Guineans. A restructure needs to be undertaken so that we can identify these agents and remove them. We're always talking about becoming like Israel or becoming like Singapore. The difference is that Israel and Singapore take a very hardline approach to this type of attitude, to this type of behavior by those who come into this country. If you're coming to this country, you must come with good intentions to help build this country, not to rape and plunder, which is what is the case in the Ministry of Fisheries and the Ministry of Forestry. We must identify these transnational criminal operators and deal with them. We must not be afraid to deal with them. Shut them down, use the army and the police if necessary. Freeze their accounts, seize their land, seize their property. So what? It will send a signal to the rest of the world that we are a true nation that cannot be messed around with, that we actually care about our people.
Jufa further embarked on the national government to empower public servants through increased salary packages in various sectors to see positive growth.
Happy public servants are productive public servants. How do you make happy public servants? You pay them well. You give them enough money so that they can be happy to come to work. They have housing. They have savings. They're taking care of their school fees for their children. Then you will see that productivity will go through the roof. And they will serve their country and their people. That's what needs to happen.
Governor Jufa made this statement right after the ministerial statement of the Fisheries Minister, Jelta Wong. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Residents of Wewak Town and other parts of East Sepik Province were shook by a massive 6.4 magnitude earthquake early this morning. The National Department of Mineral Policy and Geohazards Management reported that the earthquake occurred around 7:46 a.m. with the epicenter located 52 kilometers offshore outside Wewak.
According to the Department Geohazards Management Division, the earthquake occurred as a result of an intersection between the South Bismarck and North Bismarck microplate. The interaction occurred at a depth of 52 kilometers within the vicinity of the Southern Islands, a group of islands skirted along the coast of Wewak. Acting Assistant Director of the Geohazards Management Division, Moi Hoi, said the earthquake was moderate but dispelled any fears of a tsunami.
Although it's a moderate magnitude earthquake, which is 6.4, but it happened at the depth of about 50 kilometers. And so the chances of that particular earthquake generating a tsunami was kind of minimal. Hence, there was no report from Sepik saying that there was a tsunami or that kind of phenomena was experienced. So at this point in time, we do not have any report reaching the observatory. But yes, they felt the earthquake.
He also said the area where the earthquake occurred is a common site for earthquakes to occur, hence people should expect earthquakes like these to happen.
The place where it happened, it's happened at a known earthquake zone area. So there are earthquakes that happened before and they will continue to happen. So it's a earthquake that happened within the known seismic area. They call it a Bismarck Sea seismic zone lineament. So that's all the way from western Bismarck Sea, which is close to Wewak, and then it goes all the way across the Bismarck Sea right through to tip of New Zealand.
So far, no reports of serious destruction or damage to properties have been received. Moi Hoi further said there is no current technology to predict earthquakes. However, he said the people in Wewak and East Sepik can expect to experience aftershocks, but that is normal. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Member for North Bougainville, Francisca Semoso, made mention on the referendum on the floor of Parliament last week Friday, with hopes that the members of Parliament will revert with their decision.
The autonomous Bougainville government has made mention of the referendum and is seeking Papua New Guinea's agreement to the Bougainville independence as consultation meeting regarding the matter ended in December of 2021.
It's clearly reflected in the Prime Minister's recent statement, and I quote, "If the vote is taken now, will the parties accept the result? If Parliament votes no to ratifying the referendum outcome, will the people of Bougainville accept the result?" On the same token, Mr. Speaker, Honourable House, if Parliament chooses to ratify the referendum result, paving the way for independence for Bougainville, will the rest of the country accept the result? Be reminded of their responsibilities in progressing the Bougainville issue on the floor of this Honourable Parliament at the earliest opportunity. As 2023 is the planned year of the ratification vote, the immediate recommencement of the open dialogue is a must, Honourable Speaker and Honourable House.
The North Bougainville people have spoken and clearly articulated desire and determination through the 2019 referendum result. They have voted and it's now in the hands of the ABG to push for it.
We do not have a political impasse over the Bougainville referendum result, but the referendum result is yet to be formally tabled in the National Parliament. And I want to make it clear, Mr. Speaker, to everyone that under the Constitution, Section 342, and the Bougainville Peace Agreement, the Bougainville referendum result is non-binding.
North Bougainville member Francisca Semoso asked on when the referendum will be officiated and if the Minister of Bougainville Affairs can revert to the people of her electorate, Bougainville as a whole, and the people of Papua New Guinea.
Clear to everyone and to the country that the Bougainville referendum is very peculiar, and it must be properly and correctly seen in the context of Bougainville, internal conflict resolution and peace.
Claire Mauta, National EMTV News.
Member for Kiriwina Goodenough, Douglas Tomuriesa, raised concerns on the nuclear waste that is being dumped into the sea. He raised this concern on the floor of Parliament today during the debate after the ministerial statement by the Minister for Fisheries and Marine Resources, Jelta Wong.
The member for Kiriwina Goodenough, Douglas Tomuriesa, pointed out that the Minister for Fisheries and Marine failed to include in his report the concerns that were raised by Pacific Island leaders regarding dumping of the nuclear waste in the waters of the Pacific. These concerns were raised by the Pacific Island leaders who attended the Forum Fisheries Committee meeting in September of this year, 2023.
Here in this House, last year and again this year, in the debates that are forthcoming to the floor of this House with regards to mining waste dumps in the seas of Papua New Guinea. We're talking about mining in Morobe and the dumping of waste into the waters of the Huon Gulf. And the leaders in this House coming up in support of those mining giants. We must also take note, Mr. Speaker, Acting Speaker, that the waste that is dumped into these open waters will go into affecting the millions of tons of tuna in these waters.
Tomuriesa also stressed that the fisheries and marine sector must put back into the districts that have contributed immensely to the development of the sector.
I am very pleased with your speech. 5 years ago, we signed a deal with fisheries, and I'm yet to see it happen in Kiriwina Goodenough. There's no point harvesting all the tuna that we have in our districts and all the crabs in our districts, and there is very little.
Malinta Yopolo, National EMTV News.
Managing Director for locally owned company Supreme Industries, Sanjay Shah, says despite the country's struggle for foreign currency, the banks have tried their best to support companies relying on imports to conduct their businesses. He said while the foreign exchange currency may seem like a problem for some companies, he added that kina value has also dropped.
Foreign currency exchange?
Yeah. For one such company in Port Moresby, Supreme Industries Limited, it is business as usual despite the foreign currency exchange issues the country is facing, particularly for the business communities. According to the Managing Director for Supreme Industries Limited, Sanjay Shah, as he explains, he says the forex issue in the country is not a problem.
Foreign exchange in last whole year, till September, we used to find it really difficult to get currency through the banks as there was a bit of a shortfall. But since September and early October onwards, we have been getting good forex from the bank to pay for our imports. As you know, the country depends on a lot of imports on most of the items. And it was really affecting business earlier in the year because the suppliers' confidence was not there, as there was delay in payments for our imports.
But he added that while some companies rely heavily on imports, the banks have been really helpful to assisting companies that are facing issues with the foreign currency.
End of September, early October onwards, there has been a considerable release of forex by the both private banks, the nationalized bank like BSB, ANZ, Westpac and Kina Bank. All of them have been quite supportive, especially in our case. I'm not sure about the other organizations, but there has been a good amount of forex been given. So we have been able to satisfy most of our suppliers in the last few months, and they are that has gained a lot of confidence, and our credit terms has been intact with them.
He added that the kina value has also dropped rapidly.
There has been, in spite of getting the forex, but there has been a drop in the value of kina in last 2 months also. So which is also affecting the imports because the cost of import keep going up. And again, the cost of operations have also gone up, and that has been a little bit of cause for inflation in the market, and which is a bit taxing on most of the customers, you know.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Taking a look at the NES Fund Market Report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2685 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, Euro kina was buying $0.2610 US, 0.3923 Australian dollars, 0.2306 euro, 38.46 Japanese yen. Looking at the commodity prices, at New York closed, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed higher, copra closed higher, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading lower, copper closed lower. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. The three-man bench of the Supreme Court yesterday dismissed the application for the Yanguru Sausia election petition review filed by the runner-up candidate, Mr. Peter Wararu, against the Yanguru Sausia MP and Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru.
On the 22nd of June this year, the 2022 petition was dismissed by Justice Jeffrey Leonard Shepherd following the hearing of the objections to competency. On the 4th of July this year, Wararu filed an application for leave to apply for review of this decision of the National Court. But 2 weeks later, on the 19th of July, the leave was refused by a single judge of the Supreme Court. Dissatisfied with the refusal for leave, Wararu applied to the full court of the Supreme Court for leave to review the National Court decision on August 7 of this year. Yesterday, the Supreme Court dismissed Wararu's application for being incompetent and an abuse of process. Following this, Wararu has been ordered to pay the legal costs of Minister Maru on an indemnity basis. On record, Wararu has 3 sets of legal costs ordered by courts to settle costs for the applications dismissed yesterday by the full Supreme Court, along with the costs of the application dismissed by the single judge of the Supreme Court and the cost of the petition dismissed by the National Court. The total is estimated to being over 700,000 kina. Natasha Voy, National, EMTV News.
The National Fisheries Authority, moving into 2024, will focus on building the expansion of aquaculture projects in the country. This is so that food security is provided, as well as enabling NFA to carry out feasibility studies to improve the development of the aquaculture sector in PNG.
The National Fisheries Authority will also shift its focus into the enhancing of development of aquaculture in the country to do with inland fishing, where NFA will work with committed individuals in the country in running trial pilot aquaculture projects and assisting the ongoing feasibility studies to expand on the project as a solid and valuable industry. Aquaculture in the country that has not been tapped into, but surely through the support of NFA in assisting committed individuals with the need to expand and allow Papua New Guineans to tap into aquaculture. NFA also conducts and carries out workshops to assist those who wish to pursue aquaculture projects. NFA, who's aware of some of the aquaculture projects, has taken the time to help support inland fishing projects or fish farming for sustainability purposes, let alone food safety and security. Those planning to start up aquaculture projects to running small aquaculture business in their communities can reach out to NFA for support on how to run their projects, for advice and other support mechanisms that could be beneficial. This is also seen as a mechanism to supporting food safety, security and sustainability. NFA also has a policy that it stands by when it comes to aquaculture, setting to its policies, strategies and guidelines when it comes to the development of aquaculture in an economically, social and environmentally sustainable manner in the country. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
The president of the Papua New Guinea Councillors Association, Inc., Susan Setei, urged women to vote for female representatives in the upcoming 2027 elections. Setei made this statement recently during the Sun Up One Time program hosted by the Universal Church of PNG.
Susan Setei said PNG has not fulfilled its responsibility of achieving gender equality in the parliament. She added that the power play is always in the hands of men, therefore women have no voice at the parliament level.
Women who were there before, who made impact in the and we need to have that kind of caliber of women to also make decisions on behalf of people of Papua New Guinea in the parliament.
Also present at the program was the Family PNG, a counseling organization that provides services on case management. The Communications and Public Relations Manager of Family PNG, Renat Muruket, highlights the population target category.
The Family PNG have gender-based violence is broad. So with Family PNG, we have 4 main target population that we assist. Number 1 is intimate partner violence, sexual violence, child abuse, and sorcery accusation-related violence. So these are the 4 main target population or category that we assist.
Malinta Yopolo, National EMTV News.
As all the schools are winding down their academic year, Mount Hagen Christian Academy, located inside Mount Hagen City in the Western Highlands Province, also had their awards program today to finish off the year.
On behalf of the principal of the school, the board chairman for Warakum PNG Bible Church, Bulda Wareke, welcomed everyone to the program and thanked everyone for coming to the Awards Day program. The theme for this year's graduation and Awards Day was A New Thing in God. Guest speaker for the event, Pastor Marcus Laka, who is also the church's education secretary, says parents must have visions before sending their kids to school, and children also must have a vision to attend school. A long-time parent and supporter of the school, Petrus Meti, had sent 7 of his children to this school and explained why Christian education is important. He says the important thing that this school is imparting to the children is the fear of God, which we cannot find in any other schools, adding that the sacrifice all these teachers and the parents are putting into this school is worth it. Acting principal for Mount Hagen Christian Academy, Uke Kundi, says this school has produced some of the best students. The school was started 30 years ago by missionaries from the PNG Bible Church. They enroll a total of 800 students every year. The day ended with items and academic awards presentations. Tamara Agavi, National EMTV News.
The United Nations Development Programme, or UNDP, along with the Department of Lands and Physical Planning, hosted roadshows in East and West New Britain provinces to raise awareness on the government's new National Sustainable Land Use Policy for 2022 to 2032. The government of Papua New Guinea launched its National Sustainable Land Use Policy for 2022 to 2032 earlier this September. The policy was completed with the extensive support provided by UNDP through its now completed Forest Carbon Partnership Facility project. The roadshows held in East and West New Britain provided an opportunity for representatives of the provincial administration, the private sector, civil society, NGOs, and community-based organizations to learn more about the policy. National EMTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The 2023 Pacific Games in Solomon Islands is now into week 2 of its competition, with most athletes from Papua New Guinea that competed in the first week having returned.
Since Papua New Guinea's athletes arrived in Solomon Islands this week, PNG has created its dominant opening success in boxing. Papua New Guinea won 5 of the 23 preliminary bouts contested. Kendo Steven wrapped up PNG's opening day ring dominance by defeating Solomon Islands' hometown favorite John Azaya Hairikoi in a tight bout. As for decathlon, PNG's Karo Iga won 4 out of the 5 events. In the 4th event, he broke the high jump Pacific record of 1.91 meters by 3 centimeters. With the 17th Pacific Games underway in Honiara, Solomon Islands, PNG is in the 7th place in the Pacific Games gold medal tally with 7 gold and 34 medals in total. Leading well ahead is New Caledonia with 61 gold medals and a total of 139 medals in all. Australia follow with 29 gold medals and 56 medals in total. Samoa stands third with 26 gold and 52 medal counts. This is according to Seoul 2023. Claire Malta, Trukai Sports.
With the 2024 Paris Olympics only months away, Team PNG athletes competing at the 2023 Pacific Games in Solomon Islands are also using this event as a qualifier to the Olympic Games. Apart from the Pacific Games, athletes will also have to compete in other international tournaments in their respective codes in order to qualify and make the cut for Team PNG to represent the country at the Olympic Games. Chief the mission for the 2024 Paris Olympics is PNG's Golden Fish and Commonwealth Games gold medalist Ryan Pini. Chukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
You're watching Chukai Sports. The 5-day Southern Region 9's Rugby League tournament that kicked off yesterday with 44 participating teams playing 3 games each over a 3-day period. The idea behind this annual event is to bring together youths and develop network, friendships and leadership.
The tournament's first round began yesterday and the second round played today, with the third to be played on Wednesday. Qualifying matches will be played on Thursday and the grand final to be played on Friday. Team prizes and individual prizes will be handed down to the participants after the finals. Southern Region 9's tournament director, Ivan Ravu, said the tournament's goal is to get teams from the Southern Region local teams.
There are a lot of teams made up clubs, and we're trying to go away from the club situation where clubs have recruited good players to try and win the competition, which is not the major aim of the tournament. What I'd like to see is the village boys from the village, and I've seen a lot of them in the last yesterday and today, very young kids, just want to come and play and enjoy the game. So.
Northern Dingo's coach, David Bello, said bringing his team this far to participate in this tournament is a good exposure for the players to further their careers in rugby league. He added that experienced players also help boost the young ones' morals in the sport of rugby league.
Bringing the boys this far, especially participating in Southern Nines annually, I think it's also helped the boys in terms of their rugby league. They wish to further their career to the next level. So, with looking at the boys' career now, I think it's a good pathway to in their future career.
Claire Mauta, Chukai Sports.
With the World AIDS Day coming up, the Southern Region 9's Rugby League Committee, in partnership with the United Nations, are carrying out awareness on HIV and AIDS. The awareness is to inform youths who are actively involved in sexual activities on sexually transmitted diseases, on precautionary measures, providing testing services to those willing to find out their status, as well as distributing condoms. That ends Chukai Sports. The Morning Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
The weather forecast for the next 24 hours. For the southern region, Port Moresby City, partly cloudy with overnight drizzles. Daru, partly cloudy with morning brief showers. Kerema, rain showers and drizzles, then cloudy. Alotau, cloudy tonight with overnight showers and drizzles. Popondetta, cloudy with some rain drizzles tonight. Turimomasa region, Ley City, partly cloudy with overnight drizzles. Medeng, cloudy tonight with morning showers and drizzles. Wewak, cloudy periods tonight with morning drizzles. Vanimo, cloudy tonight with morning brief showers. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, partly cloudy. Kaveh, mostly fine. Kokopo and Rabaul, partly cloudy. Kimbe, cloudy with overnight rain showers. Buka, cloudy with overnight rain showers and drizzles. Looking at the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, rain showers and drizzles tonight, then morning fog patches. Goroka and Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, rain showers, drizzles and possible thunderstorms tonight with morning fog patches.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Tuesday, the 28th of November, 2023. From all of us here, good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.